G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video. This is going to be an adjustment to a painting I did the other day. It was a tutorial, but after looking at it, I wasn't quite happy with the sky. So this video is going to show you how you can change and adjust a painting after looking at it for a couple of days and you think, not quite happy with the way that turned out or this turned out. So here I'm going to show you how we can change it, alright? Now I'm going to show you the picture that I'm talking about. So I painted this the other day and I got carried away with the sky, and after looking at it when it was finished I realised I'm not happy with that sky and probably the water that's reflecting the sky. So in this video today I want to show you how we can change it up and adjust it. Okay, I want to keep these landmass here, but I'm going to change all this. I'll probably put some rocks under the water here instead of the grass, and we'll give that sky a bit more realistic flavour. So this is what I managed to achieve. I've got the sky more overhead and a bit more realistic than the other previous picture, and I've just got some stones and rocks or pebbles under the foreshore here, okay? And we've just detailed the reflections of the landmass back into the water. So let me show you in this tutorial how we're going to fix it up, okay? So we'll go back to the way this painting looked in the beginning before I painted it, and we'll go through it step by step, okay? I'm happy with the landmass here, so I'm going to cover that back up with some masking tape and come back over here a lot closer and we'll see what we're going to get up to, alright? So I'm happy with the colours in the sky here, but not the clouds. The clouds sort of look like a flat picture stuck on top of those colours there, and that's what sort of annoyed me about it after looking to it. So I want to try and bring this more deep, and obviously I've got to change the water reflections to match the sky. So I'm going to go on my palette here. So I've decided I'm going to use this brush to put it on, a filbert brush, and then around just to merge them together. I've got some retarder in here, so I might just dip my brush as I need it and we'll get some paint happening here. So I'll start here again, and I want to push this roughly to where I want it. I've got a little bit of retarder in here. Maybe I've got enough, maybe I haven't, who knows. But I want to get this on. I'm not going to be too shy with the colour. And then I want to quickly wash the brush. Now I'll get some of the magenta there. Now in the video we want the blue to meet the red, not the orange, the yellow I mean, because otherwise we're going to get green colours in our sky and we don't want that. So I want to merge this colour together now with that yellow, so I'll start scrumbling that in. I'll get this up to the area I want it first. Because I want that to really blend. So I'm going to pick up that round brush that I'm using now, and that yellow and that magenta is going to merge together like a sunset sky. Okay, I'm getting happy with that. I can always bring back the yellow if I feel too much of it's been lost, and some long strokes, get them into there. Just putting a bit more of the yellow back, and I want to just ease that into that sky there. There we go, look at that. Beautiful. Now I want to bring up some of that magenta higher up to get the blue blending with it. Right, so where are we? We'll get this. I'm not worried about the nonsense underneath. I'm repairing this painting, so let's see how we go. I might put a little bit of white with that just to thicken it. Get that all the way over here, because we need this to mix with the, well, I want it to mix with the blue, so I'm just going to add a little bit of retarder on that now and come up to here, scatter through the blue. I've added the littlest bit of retarder onto that, so this area is going to merge.
down here I'm going to grab a little bit of retarder on my brush, and I've just got phthalo blue here. And let's start at the top where there's no retarder. Get that on there. It's a bit, it's alright if it's a bit dark because it's the sort of sky it is. It's sunset, so it's not really bright over the top. Bring that, pick up more paint on my brush, bring that to where I mix that retarder onto the canvas, and I'm getting this sky colour pushed in. Tell you what, it feels very dry, but we'll see how we go. Now I'm bringing that into where the magenta is. And we're going to get some purples in there when those two mix. And for that to happen, I want to pick up a bit of white and just start bringing that through. That'll grey those colours up and put some brighter values in there. There we go, look at that. Now I've got to get it where the two colours are meeting. So I'm going to pick up a bit more white. And I'm sort of welding the colours together with the white, and we're getting that the top of the sky, the dark sunset and purpley colours happening. That's what I needed in the other one. Now I've cleaned that brush, dried it and got some more white on it, and I want to try and dance in some white bits here as well, just to, I'm using this to blend the colours in and to get those cloudy bits in the sky. You see, I don't want to bring too much of the blue down here. If I do, I've got to clean my brush, I feel. So while I've got this on there, I'll do this bit up here. And if anything, I'm just putting U's up here in brush strokes, like the letter U, because I want to get this sky looking more sunsetty. So I'm going to get some of the magenta, quinacridone magenta, mixed with the phthalo blue. I want this purpley dark colour here, sort of like a, I suppose it's gone like dioxine purple a bit. And I want to see if I can get some of this spliced in there as well. Just like that. Now to finish me sky, I want to put some, you know, details of cloud in there, but not too big like I went before. And I've got to get these clouds tapering from the centre, fanning out. So I'm grabbing my small fan brush, and I want to pick up some white, just titanium white. Nothing in it, no other medium in it. And we'll see if we can get some from the middle. I want these thin now. I've got to create them small. I'll grab that brush. Let's hope it's not too wet. And I want to sort of scrumble this into the sky. Now this brush, it's too pointy at the front. It's too strong. It's pushing into the paint. So I'm going to change this brush up. It's not doing what I want it to do. Now I want some of the yellow with this. Like I'm mixing up the yellow and the white, maybe a little bit of the magenta in there. And these will be the clouds over this bit here, just so they're standing out. So there's a cloud there. Now I've picked up a smaller blending brush, and I'll get that blended before it dries. I'm blending the top up to create the over the head look. Very dry. And we'll get something maybe over this side. Not too big, because they're way in the distance here. They don't have to be big giant things. Now I'll grab the magenta with some white, just to create the clouds for the magenta colour. So we'll grab some of that and some of that white there. So the colours in my sunset, I've just mixed that for a bit of white to get me cloud colours appropriate. Now this one's going to go here. Leave the bottom on it. Well, I want to leave the bottom on it. That'll do. Don't play with it too much. And probably something over here. Leave the bottom and blend the top. So I'm going into the blue. I've added the tiniest little bit of blue to that mix. So we'll see how it's going to look on our painting. It's changing the colours of the clouds up a bit. Leave the bottom on there and blend that up into oblivion. And I want to have a look in the monitor just to see how that did change that cloud up. Not too bad, not too bad. It could be a bit darker now. I'll go for the blue. So I'm just picking up the blue mixed with the magenta and putting some of these. Oh, I've got to get the white into it because we're making clouds. Okay, we'll put something here. Keeping the bottom in. I'm coming bigger as I come up the canvas, and I want to blend that out up into the blue. So I'm going to pick up the white on that fan brush and just lightly get some of these there. I'm going to use this other little fan brush, see if I can use that to blend that. Just the very bottom of that, I mean the top of that, into my cloud there. I want to see if that's doing what I'm achieving. That'll do it. I don't want too much of a sudden blob. I want it to go like that. So I'll put a bit more there. And then I'll quickly blend the top of that into that cloud. This is so, I suppose, my yumminess that I'm putting there. But I don't want to make the bottom of it too factory neat like a big round thing. I want it to look like a cloud. And I'll put a bit of intensity where the sun is, I suppose. I'll just pick that up with my finger. Where roughly is my sun? About here. I'll put it on with one finger. Get it onto the amount that I feel I want, and then I'm going to blend it out with another finger just like that. Just trying to finish off these clouds here. So I'm leaving the bottom there and twisting upwards into the top colours there. So I'm getting this deep sunset into the sky. Okay, I've done one there. We'll put something over this side as well. The camera wasn't on when I did that. I thought it was. So I'm going to use this to blend that up. I want to leave the bottom line there still. And this is pretty much a different shape like that. And then I'm going to look at it, and if I feel, okay, there's too much white sitting on the blue, I'll grab the blue and merge it back together. But this is the sort of look I want to achieve in this painting now. And a little bit here, come and get that up. And then stark some down. Just so we got that cloud highlights and everything up in the sky there. Now what I'm going to do, just to give them a bit more pizzazz, is maybe get some of the darks and feather back into the lights. But before I do that, this is looking too different to that, so I want to sort of, well, not sort of, I want to pick up some of the white and sort of marry this behaviour down into that behaviour. So join onto there. And let's hope this will work, because that paint's very dry that I've just put that on. So that's why I might have to get the darker colours of that, what I've used. See, up here is wet because remember I painted the retarder up there. So it's allowing that to happen. This sort of sunsetty sky, as you can see. Getting the darker colour again, and I want to easily splice this, carefully splice that into all those clouds that I've done, just to sort of sit things in front and behind with the lights and the darks working for each other. And I'm quickly blending it because I don't have a lot of retarder in here. Being acrylic, it'll dry very quick. Beautiful day in Perth today, lovely day. Got me coffee going. Okay, I want to pull the tape off this now. I could keep mucking around with that till the cows come home, but that's enough. We want to get the bottom done. So carefully pull this off. And I can also just detail the edge of the landmass there to blend it into that sharp taped edge there against the new sky. Now, as you can see, there's a big difference to our sky, which I'm happy with. And the water, I'm going to mask this area up now, and the water, I'm not going to detail that well. I'm just going to get those colours in there and scratch them through. And then I want to put this reflection in. Okay, so let's see what I can do to start over the water. By the way, this painting, I've scratched it with a blade just to get everything flat instead of these lumps showing through the new painting. Alright, I've got a flat brush and some craft paint, no retarder in it, and I'll pretty much prime up the water area. Alright, I've just wiped that brush. I won't wash it, I've just wiped it, picking up the cadmium yellow medium. And we'll start here like the sky. We've got the yellow pretty much there. Blend that through. Just stop about there. I want to wash that brush. Picking up the quinacridone magenta. And I've kept the brush strokes out of this. Now I want to start from about here and then bring that into the yellow, just like so. Careful, I'm slowly controlling how much I go into the yellow. I don't want to go too far full into it. See, now I've picked up the yellow, it's turned into orange. Get some of this magenta back out here. The white's softening it for me because I want the water different value. Now we'll do the blue. Okay, I've picked up the phthalo blue. I'm going to start down here. It's draggy. I'm just dabbing the brush into some water a bit, pulling it off the hairs. And now I'm going to bring this up into the magenta colour there. Picking up some more blue. And I think instead of having some grass here, I might just have this coming up to a shoreline with some, I don't know, some pebbles or rocks underneath the surface there. So I want to fix these values here up first. I've just grabbed some more phthalo blue because this is very light at the front here. I want to get a different transition there, just like that. Beautiful. We'll grab a brush to pull across because I just want to put some glare in there. Okay, I'm just picking up some of the flow white and probably I'm sort of laying it on top. Well, I don't want to bring that contaminated colour. I've got a nice soft brush just to pull those values through like that. Okay, I'll pull that tape off the horizon line there and then we can start marrying the top. So now I want to get this reflections in and just detail back up to the new sky there. I've given that a blow dry so I can get me reflection down here. Now I've just sprayed some water onto me paints there because they're going to come in handy later on. Now I'm going to go back to these greens that I used in this one, which was
forest green, okay?
Okay, I've got the forest green. We'll start. First I've got to get the bottom dark area back into here. So I'm just crawling along like that. And you can see why I dried underneath, because I don't want it to mud up. And then roughly I want to start bringing the top shape into this, but I'm pulling back a little bit because I want to scallop it into the water to create more of a realism. So I've come to there and I'll just get this blocked in. Now, keeping these parallel with the horizon line, the closer they are here, they can be bigger, okay, but the closer they get to the horizon line, they become smaller. But you don't want these too big to start with, so what I'm doing is creating that ripple look in the shadow there. Okay, so persevere with me while I get this done, and we've got to go smaller as we go. Now also I'm getting a smaller brush. I've just got a little filbert here and I'm blending that top line back into the painting, splicing it back through the landmass and just appropriately into the sky. Now I want a filbert brush, something reasonably soft, nothing very scratchy. And see, I want to get this colour, the bluey colour, with some light, and probably some of this colour with some light. And we'll put in some rocks just at the foreground, so it looks like the water's coming to a shallowing bank. So where are we? We'll pick up the blue on one side of the brush, okay? And then some white on the other side of the brush. Get enough on there. Now we'll put the light at the top, not the bottom, okay? And some of these want to just slowly scatter into that colour, and some of them just want to slowly scatter into here. So we could probably say put some big ones out here. Now you want this paint reasonably, you know, moving off the brush a bit so it doesn't look like big. There we go, we'll put some, so we've got dark and lights happening all at once. So I've mixed up the other colour there, so I'll get that on one side of the brush and some white on the other. Now we don't want these too bright, so if anything we want that dark, stronger out here, and you want these just sitting out here, and then you can scatter just probably a few maybe into this colour. Yeah, that's alright. Alright, I'm grabbing my flathead brush just to finish everything off now. So we'll put a ruler here and we'll get our shadow area there, lined in reasonably straight, and then we can taper it into there as well appropriately. And then we'll do the same on the other one. Centre. Now all I've got to do is just detail this landmass and we're finished. Okay, we're getting the forest green with the yellow mixed with it a bit just to get our reflections down here. Now I've added some yellow into this colour I just had, and where these are here I want to emulate those downstairs as well, just in a roundabout way. Now I want to finish it off with our tree trunks. Now see these tree trunks here, you don't want them stopping. You want some longer than others, some set back, just like that. See, that'll allow for a bit more perspective in your painting. And then we obviously put them back in here as well, because it's a very sharp, not forgetting, reflection. Got some up here as well. Now just to finish this off, I'm putting a bank on here, and it's virtually a lush green bank, so I'm coming right across the middle of that black there, being careful not to go too thick out near the horizon line there because it's further away, and then I'm going to gradually bring it a bit thicker here. There we go. Now this green I've mixed with some white. I want the white for the bit on the water, but I don't want it pure white, so I've just got the green in there, and I'm very gingerly scalloping this through some of these darker reflections here. Okay, I'll just sign this and give you a look at it. And we'll put a frame on it as normal. Okay, I think I've done a bit more justice to that painting the way it looked in the beginning. Okay, well, I've given the sky a bit more depth and coming over our head. Just changed the foreground with some rocks under there, and we put all our realism back into our landmass, alright? It's not too shabby, eh? Be sure to subscribe in the little icon in the bottom there. It costs you nothing to click that. There's some links in the description below for my patrons page, my Facebook page, my video catalogue. There's a few links in there, alright? And if you like what I've done today, tell your friends, but if you don't, tell everybody, okay? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.